So what's going on with your community, man? How's it going?
Doing well. I actually had somebody sign up earlier today. That was pretty funny. Like, I don't even know where they came from because they did fill out the form. Like, I pretty much had a very similar form to what you have for the cybersecurity community, like the CISP community. Um, so I don't know where they came from, but I assume it's like from my YouTube video or something. Because what I did is I made that QGIS course, as I told you, right? And then from there, I just uploaded all of the videos in the modules there onto YouTube. So pretty much you have like the entire course is on YouTube, but it's not like you don't have the chronological order. Plus, it's not like you have all of the descriptions that come with it. So if you see the videos, it's still valuable to join, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, I just figured it would be good for traffic to just post it there.
Hmm.
So I think that's how they found it, but I actually don't know.
Did you put the question on there? Like, how did you find
Yeah,
us?
yeah, I did, but I don't know what they filled out, but it was just unclear. Anyways, that's a win to me. I'm happy with that.
Did you like engage with them when they got in there?
Yeah, I just sent them a DM.
Did they say anything back?
No, it's been a few hours. I think it's like they're from the Philippines or something, so it must be like
Yeah.
it's 1 a.m. there, so that's not gonna work right now. But
Are they
maybe they'll in tomorrow.
are they a member of any other school groups? I always look for that because sometimes people are just
No,
joining.
they aren't. At
Oh
least
no,
I
that's
don't
good.
think so.
That's great. When you get people who are only a member of your group, that means they found you specifically somehow. And
Yeah, and that alone is so crazy to me. Like a PhD agriculture student from the Philippines found me. Like that's
right,
hilarious, to be fair.
isn't that
Like that's fucking cool. Yeah, that's amazing.
yeah? And then especially when you get them on a call and you start to chat with them and stuff, it's like then you know them like real people, you know?
Right. Yeah, I'm wondering where I found them, but yeah, I think I'll find out at some point.
Yeah, it's
So,
always
anyways, what I'm doing is just I go on Twitter and I try to go on big accounts, then try to find like 10 or 20 people that will be qualified. That's pretty much what I do every day at the bare minimum, and then just shoot them a DM and like follow up with them, see if they're interested. Moreover, yeah, I just make those modules and some videos around GIS and just post them to YouTube.
yeah, exactly. What does your DM say? Like how are you positioning it?
Let me see exactly. The way I do it right now is usually I introduce myself like, hey, I'm just finishing up my bachelor's degree in this field, like human geography and spatial planning, technically is what my degree is called. But usually I dumb it down a little bit, but sometimes it depends on the person I'm reaching out to if they how similar they are to that degree. Sometimes I kind of go more to the planning side or the geography side, the GIS side. Other time I go more into towards the sociology side because that's kind of similar to what it is. Um, so I just say so and so. That's what I do. Like I have my bachelor's degree in this that I'm finishing up, uh, and then I ask them a question like, "Is there anything that you do with GIS?" Or I ask them like, "Is there any tips that you would give me?" Or I ask them what their workday looks like and what problems they encounter. That's pretty much like the few things that I really ask. Or sometimes I just ask them if I can even ask them a question,
How's
and
that?
then ask
How's it
that.
working?
The response rate is not very great, but it's like decent. I sometimes there's people with like 10K followers still responding, which is like pretty funny. Or some I even had a guy who this guy is actually somewhat famous, quote unquote. He's got like 40, 50K followers, and one time he had some Twitter beef with Elon Musk. So that's pretty funny. And he
That's
replied to my DM. So I was like, oh, that's pretty funny. Like it's even people like that actually read your stuff.
yeah.
But yeah, the response rate is not great. I think like 1 in 4, 1 in 5 people reply. I mean, I don't know how bad that is to be fair. But from there, usually if they actually like somewhat interact with me over 2 or 3 messages, they usually are like at least positive towards joining. And there's been like 1 or 2 people who had objections after that, and a bunch of people who just were like, "Oh, nice," and they just looked at it and didn't actually join. But yeah, it's going decent. At least a few people joined.
Did you get
That's me.
the Facebook pixel tracking set up?
No.
I would do that. Here, I can show you because then you'll be able to see, like, even if people don't respond to your DM, maybe they still go to the about page. And, like, that's great, right? That's what you're trying to get them to do. So, like, once you get it set up, you'll be able to come inside the Facebook, and I have a bunch of them set up right now, but like, let's just look for my main group. This one.
Oh, so this doesn't actually like really by definition have to do anything with Facebook. It's just you can actually see the engagement on your about page really.
Exactly. And then when you do
Mm.
advertising, it's called seasoning the pixels. So you're already going to have like these people's information inside the pixels. So when you do advertising, you can retarget them or target similar audiences. But like this is how you get your conversion rate. You see, like I've had 317 people register, but 736 have been to the about page to see it.
That's good numbers, right?
I think so. I think that's pretty average, is around 50%. It's a free group, so it's really low friction to join. But
Yeah.
if you go to settings and then you go to plugins,
Yeah,
and then
I've seen it before. Yeah.
yeah, and then this video right here is really helpful. It shows you how to do it. It's pretty simple.
Okay, I'll look into that for sure.
Because then you know, like, okay, at least maybe they're not everybody responds, but sometimes people will click the link and go check it out. And then it's like, okay, now I know I got to work on my about page because people are clicking it and seeing it, but they're still not joining. So I got to tighten something up there.
Right. How do you know from there like what you have to change about your about page?
I mean, just watching what other people do, right? I think I've been like updating mine over time, and I think it's pretty simple for a free community. I'll just show you is always the easiest way. Bu- bu- bu.
Because I've seen people like add in like an offer stack or something, and they say, okay, this is X amount of value, that is a Y amount of value, and every little feature in the group has a certain value. Now, but the overall price is, and then it's like far less or free, and then they have people join over there. But since we have more of a study group, I don't know if that's like the way to go about it.
Yeah, I think that's good. And that's kind of what I've followed. This is just what I've been learning. The putting the study session calls like right up front, that seems to be why people join, to like get some level of interactivity. As you
Mm.
get more stuff inside the group, you can start to do like a little video showing people around. So like, boom, live study group calls, because I know that's really what people are, and people have told me too. They're like, they like the study group calls. And you just kind of tell them a little bit about what you have, and the friction is low to get people to join the free group, but like these people in the free group are valuable to us, right? Like I just got off a call with somebody I'm trying to do a partnership deal with now, and he's like a big, not a big, but he's got an actual business around courses and content for this topic, right?
Right.
So I was talking to him, and we're like trying to figure out how we can work together. And I was like, okay, so how many users do you have? He said 80,000. And I was like, okay, of those 80,000 users, how many have actually purchased anything from you? And he said 14,000. So I'm like, there's like 65,000 people who are just they're sitting on an email list somewhere. We can use my community to get these people in and warm them up and sell them your product, which I'll get an affiliate commission on. 60-40 split is what he was talking about. So I hope that happens, because if he can tell 65,000 people about the group, and then once they get inside the group, it's like, okay, yeah, everything is the same, except now we offer his coursework and his boot camps. That's great, like I'm not making anything off this right now. So, and I'm not an expert in it. So
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, but you do have the traffic that he needs basically, and also like pretty much the nurturing that he needs.
the nurturing, because he's got his own traffic, but that's what he was interested by. When you start to show people like, okay, look, we get on a weekly call twice a week, they're actually talking to each other in the forums, we're doing this practice question thing, they're actually engaged. It's like, okay, all these guys are doing is shooting out an email, and they don't really know what happens after that. Maybe they know who opens the email, but like to be able to get on a call with your leads and talk to them and have like this level of engagement with those people who might be buying something from you is awesome. So I think maybe
Yeah,
like
it is.
maybe that's your path too with QGIS. Who knows? It'll just develop over time. But like you've got a great thing that like fits really well into this whole model, because like it's a free open source software that people all over the world use, and they're trying to learn about it. It's very niche, very specific. It's very technical. It's like perfect to, I mean, you would join a big study group about it, right? To learn about it,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if it's free, like, let's go, let's do it.
Right. And that's the thing. And that's the thing. And then you're in there, you start to realize like, oh, I'm actually meeting other people. And man, it could even open up job opportunities for you or like people that you could hire for contracts, the affiliate deals. Yeah, I think it's awesome.
Right, indeed. The thing is though, I've like tried to like find a certificate similar, right? And I don't know what CISSP stands for, but I assume it's like cybersecurity professional pretty much.
Yeah.
Uh, I found something similar for like it's called literally GISP, so Geo Information Science Professional, Geo Information Systems Professional, which
Um,
is very similar, but it's the numbers just aren't as high though. It's like I don't know how many people are like certified with that certificate, but there is an account on Twitter. I don't know if I can immediately find it. Let me see. But they pretty much have like 20K followers, and they're like the organization that gives out this certificate, or pretty much does the
mhm.
they do they're literally the certification institute.
You know, it's interesting too.
Yeah,
It's when you realize like, okay, that's just a private business. That's just a business who's giving out a certification and a test. Like there, it's an open source software.
yeah,
Somebody built the business around that.
right. The thing is, wait, let me see. I'm still Googling, so
No,
that's
you're
why I'm a bit slow. I can't find it immediately, to be fair, but systems professional. Because you see people like on Upwork and Fiverr who have that literal certificate, but it's just like 20 or 30 people on there. So I don't really know how big of this of a thing this certificate even is, or whether or not I should really position myself as like, or like position the group as a group where people study to get that certificate or a similar one, or just a group where people study GIS and they also have like the opportunity to get a certificate like that.
hmm Yeah, I think it should because GIS is the software, right?
Yeah, it's just like the umbrella term for like all of the software really, and QGIS is like one of the open source ones, or pretty much the open source one.
Yeah, I would stay focused on the QGIS. I don't know if you want to call it study group community. Study group, I think it personally is good because like when people read that, they immediately know what to expect, right? It's like, oh, it's people learning together about QGIS. But like if people are offering boot camps, that's a great sign
Hmm.
because you know they're charging thousands of dollars for these boot camps, and it's like, look, $11,000. Oh no, 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 5,000, $6,000.
Yeah. Well, yeah, right, indeed. So like if you were to get a degree at a university, it's like those prices that like the
Right.
11, the 31.
See, like this is the type of company that you can ultimately partner with. You reach out to them and you say, hey, I've got a QGIS study group with tons of people in there who are all interacting with each other every day. This is a great way because they don't have communities. Maybe they have a forum. If there's a forum, that's
Yeah.
where,
And maybe they have an email list, right?
right, right. But they don't have a community like that.
That's another funny thing to look at as well. The one above this one that you just selected, the certification. I'm not sure if this is the page I meant, but there is a list of a bunch of people who are like doing QGIS certificates as well. But these are like all just like all organizations, just a bunch of organizations, all different organizations that they look at certifying people with QGIS, but they just make their own program. So they don't really like use an standardized process. It's like, yeah, since it's an open source project, really, they just all pretty much contribute to it, just from a sense of wanting to do that. But those organizations do obviously charge for those trainings. So usually it's like similar to a boot camp, but it's like either 1 or 2 days where they just have you come to their office or they come to your office and train up your personnel
Right.
to, I mean, understand how QGIS works.
Yeah, that's what you're developing an open source community, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Another thing, I don't know if you started playing with it all, is making the practice questions for QGIS. I was fooling around with this a little bit, but like create a multiple choice question for QGIS. Something simple everyone can work from. Tell me if this makes any sense, because I don't know anything about the software.
No, this does make sense.
Boom.
Indeed, yeah.
You know, now you post that in the community.
Right, yeah.
And that's how, you know, you're not the expert, but you're still bringing value to these people. Yeah, they
Indeed.
can do this themselves, but like when they get in the community and they see it, and then people starting to talk about it is the best, because like with our practice questions, like sometimes someone will go back and comment on one from like a month ago and it brings it back to the top, you know? They get in these big conversations about them. People
Right.
see one that has a good conversation like this, you know? So I put this practice question up, and then these people, they get into a conversation about, you know, what the question is, and they're all learning together. It's just like a study group, you know?
Right. Don't you feel like an urge to like sell them something though?
Yeah, yeah, but you got to fight that urge because you're building
Yeah,
something
I see.
valuable, you know? Like, yeah, does it bother me sometimes that like I'm paying for the platform, I'm putting all this energy and effort into it, and these people are telling me they're spending thousands of dollars on courses somewhere else? Yeah, but I realize the value in the community itself. And now like I'm starting to see that, because like getting on calls with people about partnership deals, and they're like, okay, like I see what you're talking about. I see what you're talking about. It'd be very hard, like you have to have the things set up to show them that, it could provide value to the rest of their audience, you know? Because if you just
Right.
show them an empty community, they're going to be like, they're just not going to get it. But when you show them a community that's got some life in it, and you're like, okay, now imagine all your users in here for free talking with each other, doing this, but your content is also for sale here, or your coaching is also for sale here, right?
Right.
So I'm excited. I think that it's going to work out in that direction.
Yeah, I see. I definitely see that working out as well. I just have that urge in me a little more, I think, because my dad, as I said, my dad, he has this GIS software business pretty much as well, and I work for him. And we created pretty much a platform which is not open source, but it's like subscription based, like a SaaS in browser. So I do have an urge to sell people that, right? It's
That's
like
great.
we want clients. So
Yeah,
that's a bit of a struggle there. That's kind of like
but
my
that's
main
perfect.
struggle, I would say.
That should be so motivating, because like you already have something that you can start to sell these people. So when there's 100 people in there, you can offer some special deal, first month free, because like I work for this company, or my family owns this company, or whatever, and you'd be able to, and you can even start to bring people over from that software into your platform directly. Like all the people who have purchased the software, you reach out to them and say, hey, we've started a study group around QGIS. Maybe you can learn some stuff here. It's free. You've already purchased from us. Come over here and join this, you know?
Right. Yeah, that makes sense as well, to be fair. The thing is with that software platform, to be fair, is like it's more solution based. So uh, whenever people use QGIS, they're usually like people who are already like GIS experts or GIS consultants, or
Mm-hmm.
they do GIS on the side in a specific business, usually like consulting. And then pretty much the data that they create from there, they usually put like in a WebGIS to share with their clients. Because QGIS is like a desktop app, and you need the application to like be able to view the data that's been like put into it. So that's kind of a problem that a lot of businesses have, is like, okay, if I now want to display this data to my clients, say that is a city council or like a real estate organization or like, yeah, something similar, they need to be able to view that data in like a simpler viewer. So
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of what we created there. Um, so yeah, I'm kind of in the middle of like, should I make it like a QGIS study group or more like a GIS community that pretty much covers more softwares and more solutions as well?
Right. Well, do the people like, can you do everything you need to do with the open source software, or do people normally start with the open source software to learn about it, and then they eventually buy a product that does everything they need to do?
Um, it's a bit of both really, because I've onboarded a few organizations, and usually these people are like uh, people that just search for mapping software, and yeah, for example, like I onboarded this company, which is pretty much two guys. They search for like small garages, and they just redevelop them so that they become more valuable and just find a bunch of investors. So they're pretty much like real estate developers slash garage flippers, really.
Yeah,
They just use the platform not because they're GIS experts, but because it just has a benefit to them to like display their data on a map, or be
right.
able to like track whether or not they contacted certain parcels, or like owners of parcels, using a map. So they're not like GIS experts or anything. So um, they also wouldn't really benefit from this community, because they're like not a GIS expert, but more like people who could also use GIS to enhance their business operations, really. So that is like my main struggle. It's like there's two target audiences pretty much, like the people who are actually willing to like learn GIS because it has a benefit to them, and the people who like would benefit from GIS, but they rather have it done for them.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. And I think that the people who are learning GIS are going to be way more engaged in the community. And as
Mm,
you start to like, because the people who just want to use it for their business, like they don't want to think about it, right? Like maybe they'll join the community for like a day or two and just poke around, but they're not going to be like coming back and chatting with other people about like how to do specific things inside the software or how to get certain stuff done. You're totally
mm,
right. There's like customers of it, and then there's like the actual practitioners of the software itself. I think, the more you build up those practitioners, the more you're going to attract customers, because like you have this whole ecosystem of people who are already using it. You're going to be able to provide a lot of different types of solutions or a lot of different types of expertise because you've collected all these people who really know how to use it. Like
true.
inside my
Yeah.
community, it's around cybersecurity, but like there's system administrators in there, there's network administrators, there's executives and management type people, right? There's like all these different types of people, but they're gathered around the general thing, which is the certification, the cybersecurity certification.
True. Yeah. I didn't think about it that way. Like that's definitely going to be like far more engaged people, to be fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's, like you'll be able to attract the customers for the thing. Like the problem with most stuff is finding talent, right? It's finding good, smart people. And if you're getting a community together of people who are all learning about the thing, like, and you guys are already involved in a company that like is doing this, that's awesome. Like if I had I have a small IT services business and I work for a cybersecurity company, but like, I could hire people out of the group to work for the company and like, forget an interview,
Mm.
own these people for months that you're talking to.
Right. Yeah, true.
So it's like,
Okay. Yeah. I didn't even really think about it that way. I was more like thinking about it as of more of a funnel, really, where it's like someone comes in through like YouTube or X, and it's like they see the benefit of GIS, they want to learn more about it, they see like a community, and then from there they can like book a call with me when they've gone through some of the pretty much content in there,
mhm.
and like they've seen the benefit of GIS, and they see how it could benefit them specifically, and maybe they have a particular project where it could be useful. That's kind of the way that I thought about it, to be fair.
Yeah, maybe you put a question, like a entry question that says, "Are you interested in using GIS or are you interested in learning GIS?" Because then you can kind of start
That's
to
good.
filter out
Yeah,
who they are, and
true.
who's joining.
Yeah, but that does come with like different content strategies, really. But yeah, maybe it's just a matter of volume and seeing what works, really.
Yeah, it's gonna how many people are in the community right now?
Six.
Okay, that's a good start. Did you put dude? I put a post on Reddit for my community, and I had 100 people like in the first week. Have you looked
Oh
at
yeah,
Reddit?
Reddit. I need to do Reddit as well. Right.
But be careful on Reddit because they will kick you off Reddit. So you gotta
Yeah, yeah.
Just don't say it's your thing. Just be like, I found this cool
Wow,
community.
look at this amazing community.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
found this amazing community that's helping me learn. I think you guys should join. It's awesome.
amazing.
We do calls and we do all sorts of
Right.
interactive stuff.
Just putting that on my calendar to not forget.
Yeah.
That's good as well. Oh, I have a little bug on my on my camera.
Yeah, we get those in Florida all the time.
Yeah. Well, usually I have bugs in software, not on the camera. Yeah, I
They're
kind
all,
of customer success, so I'm like reproducing all of the bugs and everything. That's kind of my struggle. I just get pissed off, so I start building a community so I don't have to deal with the bugs.
exactly. That's right. I heard that terminology, there was like and when the computers used to be really big and like take up a whole room, there was a moth that got like stuck on the circuit board and it shorted it out. And that's where the term
Oh,
came
really?
from.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's an
That's
actual
good to know.
actual bug was on
I'll
it.
share that with my colleagues at some point. That's funny.
Well, that's cool, man. I'm glad it's all working out slowly but surely, you
For
know.
sure, definitely. Yeah, I really see like everything coming together slowly but surely indeed. I'm just going to like edit one of those questions to do exactly what you said at some point. So that'll be good. Like that's really a good like segmentation of seeing whether or not people are like interested in learning or using the systems,
Mhm.
because that is like definitely like a big difference in target audience, I would say. Because yeah, it's usually like businesses after all that are behind wanting to use GIS, whether or not they want to learn it, but just using in general. Um, and they can like hire someone to do it for them depending on like the size of the company. But when you're like some sort of like let me find a translation for this Dutch word. 1 second.
That's all right.
Yeah, housing corporation basically. So your housing corporation, uh, small housing corporation, usually those don't have like the capacity to hire someone to like do GIS for them full time. So they just get like a company like us to do it for them. And I don't think that they really would stumble upon like GIS related content in general, but they
Yeah.
may search on Google for like mapping software. So I
Right.
think, yeah, in the school community, indeed, it would make more sense to have to
Well,
at least target people who want to learn it.
you know what's going to happen is like, okay, somebody at one of these small housing developments or whatever, their boss says to them, hey, we need to learn mapping software. You know, the first thing the guy is going to do is going to go start searching on YouTube and Google for mapping software, right? So like maybe the business itself isn't going to find you, but like employees, I find that all the time in my community. They're like, yeah,
True.
my boss wanted me to get the CISSP, so I started searching and I found you guys.
Oh, that's funny as well. Yeah, indeed. Yeah, I can imagine like the business owners may not even really be too invested into these things or like into like what's really behind improving these operations, like getting licenses or certifications in particular fields. So
Right.
that makes sense indeed. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunities. Shoot, there was something else I was going to mention to you. What were we just talking about? Um,
I
uh,
said something about a housing corporation, and
yeah,
I said something about kind of like the segmentation between
right.
people using or
Yeah,
learning GIS, if that's what you were looking for, or did you forget it?
I forgot.
Maybe it'll pop back up. We'll see.
Eventually. But yeah, for sure, definitely asking them the questions when they come in is going to help you out a lot. Oh, SEO. SEO. Use it because I'll show you. Um, so like the about page, because Sam and Alex who set this up, they're in this space. So this is all, what search engine SEO is, search engine optimization.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so the name and the description is what shows up on Google. So when you search CISSP study group, which is a really common term somebody would search if they're looking for the CISSP, we are so, and like this is great because the ISC squared community, so I have my link is like one click behind that. And then I have my link on that website too. So we show up, see, we're right here. But see how that's the same? as the group description. So you want to optimize the group description for SEO, and you can use ChatGPT to do that too. You just say, how is this for SEO? Boom. And you play with it a little bit to figure out what works, because you can only use 150 characters, but you want it optimized so that when people are searching on Google, you start to rank higher.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense as well. The group description, like, that's what shows up. But is it also like, do you have to put in particular keywords in there? Like, do you get them from somewhere, or do you just write something that actually makes sense, that when someone sees it, they just click on it based on the actual text that makes sense?
You can just ask ChatGPT. Tutorial download plugin, QGIS open source, spattle analysis. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah, these make sense. These all make a lot of sense as well.
and then once you tell it, okay, use those.
I should have used this more in my YouTube titles as well.
Yeah, you got time. I'm just going to call it a study group, even though I know you don't call it that, but that's, and then boom, okay. So here's a group description that uses these keywords.
Okay, that is pretty accurate to what I do as well.
Mm-hmm,
That's really cool. Yeah.
So you just want to play with ChatGPT like that. I forget, I had this SEMrush. So you can do topic research for keywords.
Nice. I think we have a license for this at the business I work for as well. So
That's great.
I've used this like a few weeks ago.
Interesting. Tutorial download, yeah, vector data. So, stuff like that. And also, you're going to want to use those keywords in the in this part too.
Yeah. I'm just going to rename some YouTube videos using those keywords actually.
Yeah.
Because as I said, I uploaded pretty much like what is a QGIS course if you were to like really simplify it.
Right.
So it makes much more sense to like put tutorial in some of those titles as well. Like, that's going to get traffic. I think that's kind of what's the main source of traffic was for that one guy from the Philippines who joined. At least I expect that's what it is.
Yeah. Well, and then like it really helps to ask too, because at a certain point you're not going to know. You're going to like have the link out there so many places. It's like you're not going to be able to figure out where people come from.
Right.
And then the
Yep,
Facebook
makes sense.
advertising I've just started for my group as well, which is going okay. I'm only spending $5 a day on the advertising just to start to learn about it. But some people find us through that because they say Instagram, and I don't do anything on Instagram except for the paid advertising. So
Right. Oh, Instagram, that's pretty funny.
yeah, that's
So
got to be.
you don't have like any sort of account for that set up on Instagram, but they still see some Facebook ads that are pretty much also displayed on Instagram.
Here, I'll show you.
That's funny.
Yeah, it puts it out on Instagram. So like, and this is another good reason to get that pixel set up, because you're going to need the pixel when you do the advertising. So if you go to the ads manager, so this is it. It's only gotten four people to register, so that's about $5 per user, which is not great. Hopefully that goes down, but like you can see 700, it's almost 800 people have seen it.
I don't know how bad $5 per user is, to be fair. That doesn't seem too crazy.
Right, and it's going down. Like somebody was telling me that the Facebook advertising is kind of like mining for gold. So you're looking in a really broad area, and then when you find a little bit of gold, you like go farther into that. So in the beginning, it's just kind of searching to find the audience, and then once it finds people who are registering, it like drills down deeper into that.
Yeah, it makes sense because it's pretty much like, I assume, machine learning what's behind it, right?
Yeah, machine learning, and the Facebook pixel helps a lot because you can say, okay, these are the type of people who've already come to the page, try to find similar people.
Right, indeed. Yeah, that makes sense as well. I was gonna say something else. I forgot as well.
All right.
That's funny. Uh, Let me see. Like, I need to remove one of those questions. So what I did is right now I have asking for email address. How did you find this community? And the same question that you have. Like, are you willing to be a contributing member of the group? So I assume I'm going to remove the last one to like ask this question on whether or not they want to like have GIS done for them or like wanting to learn it.
Exactly.
So
You'll
I'm just
figure
gonna
out.
make that like a multiple choice question instead.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, you'll figure out how to say it, but are you looking to learn the software, or are you looking to buy the software or find someone to help you use the software? Are you a learner or are you a customer? Is what you're really trying to say.
Yeah, pretty much. For now I just make it, are you willing to learn GIS or find someone to help you use it? We'll see if
Yeah.
we can work it better at some point, but that's fine.
That sounds good. All right, oh man, I hope some of this has helped.
Definitely, man. Yeah, I appreciate it a lot. Did you get more people in this community like this how to not be an expert community or not?
One other guy joined and I'm supposed to talk to him later today. I don't really know like what to do with it yet. I'd put a price on it now because I want to try to make some money off of it, and I think it is helpful information. Like I like helping you,
Absolutely.
a nice dude, and like whatever, I don't care. I'm learning about this too. So I put $50 on there a month. I don't know if anyone's going to join at that price, but like I see all these communities, people are spending a lot of money to learn how to use Skool and make money on Skool, right? And I
Yep,
don't,
absolutely.
and a lot of people seem to like have the fear that like, oh, I'm not an expert, and I don't see anybody doing that. Like, okay, I can show you how to not be an expert but still do this successfully.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense too. Wait,
So
this now I actually remembered what I wanted to ask you because you have like this you also have like this premium group, right, which is paid. How do you get people in there? Do you just like DM them or do they just join for themselves? How does that go?
like at first I just put it up there and I told them straight up. I was like, this platform and the donation thing is interesting too, but just to answer your question about the premium group, I was like, because I got to know some people on calls over the weeks, and I was like, look, this platform costs me money. It cost me $100 per community to run this. I need to start to try to make some money off of this. So I'm going to set up the premium community, and like I'm willing to make it whatever you guys want it to be. So the more people that join now, that'll be your price for life, and I'll work with you specifically to figure out what's going to be helpful to you. And so far, the only thing I've really done with it is hire that expert or the instructor to do a Q&A with them inside that community. And I think people liked it, but I don't know if it's enough of a value proposition to get them to join. Really, what I'm thinking now is getting rid of the premium community and just doing a full partnership with this guy if he wants to do it. So only thing I offer is a free community, and I get the affiliate commission on his courses and content. Like that's fine with me. I'd rather build a platform to put him on top of than try to do my own thing.
Yep, makes sense. I don't know if I would like to do like not like to do my own thing though. Like I kind of like to do that as well, to be fair. So I have to
Right.
figure that out really.
Because the truth is, it's like, okay, if we're not the experts, what can we actually provide people who are the experts? And what we're providing them is like, is the platform, the incubator, the hot tub, right? We're like, okay, you have a big audience already, but you're not doing anything with that audience, and you're missing out on a lot of sales because like those people aren't engaged with each other or with their business. Like, look, I've set up a way to really get your audience engaged and buy more of your stuff. Let's do a partnership. It benefits everybody.
Yep, yep, that works. How did you find that particular person, by the way, that you just got off the call of?
I put the ad on Upwork and I said, hey, I'm looking to hire an instructor for my CISSP community. And he applied to the job. But he was like $150 an hour or something. Like he's like a top level instructor. So I just reached out to him and I was like, hey, I can't afford your course, like I can't afford your coaching, but I'd like to talk to you about your coursework and how we could potentially open up a partnership. And as long as you have something to show people, they're willing to talk to you. When you can say, hey, look, like I already have this community, I'm trying to hire experts, like I'm looking for somebody to partner with here, I see the value in it. And then other business owners are going to see that too. When you show it to them, they're going to be like, oh, okay, I see what this guy's talking about. Like maybe he doesn't have anything to sell these people, but he has a great platform to sell something to these people.
Right. Do you think that would also go for like, I don't know how relevant this is to you specifically, but this is more of a question in my case, where do you think this is also possible with like upselling into software? Say they were
100%.
to like buy into some sort of app, because that's pretty much what I would like to do most, I think, where we have like that WebGIS platform and it's like, okay, we just have this QGIS or maybe just GIS in general community where people learn about GIS for free. And if they then want to like get some sort of WebGIS set up for them, that's when they can work with us. That's like an upsell. And maybe another upsell would indeed be like partnering up with another business that does QGIS
Yep.
certifications or trainings, which is
Yeah.
something that we could even do ourselves as well. But I don't
Mhm.
think that would be really good for us, to be fair. We don't really have anyone on board who would really be in a
Mm-mm.
position where they could like give QGIS trainings to a good
Yeah.
extent. So it would be better to outsource or have somebody else do that as well.
I think you're smart to just try to keep it in-house. Like if your dad already has a company around this, just try to figure out a way to get him more clients, and then you take a percentage of that, or it's just helping your family or whatever, right? Like, because then the affiliate commission, it's like all in the same pocket. You're not really splitting it with anybody because it's already in-house. It's like your family's doing it. So maybe
Right.
what you do down the road, you you do a free training on that software and put it inside your community, right? So it's like, this is just a free training on WebGIS. Wanted to offer this to you guys, and people will start to see that and be like, oh, this is an interesting software. Maybe they want to learn more about it. That's what I would do, because like you were saying, the WebGIS gives you the ability to use the open source data in a more readable way, right? Like
Right.
on,
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a
so
good
that's great.
breakdown.
Like people are learning about the open source one, and then they get to the point where it's like, okay, like I want to do something else with this. Perfect. Here's a free training on how to use WebGIS. We have a partnership with WebGIS. If you're interested in coming on board, whatever, you'll figure that part of it out. But I think that's the transfer over, is like, okay, we've gotten you all the way you can go with the open source stuff. Like if you're interested in doing this professionally, if you're interested in building a business on this or providing this service to other businesses, you're going to need the next level. Here's a free training for that stuff. I work with those guys already.
Yep, that's really good. That's really good advice. I didn't even think about putting it that way, like putting it as a course, because I mean, what I'm really used to is like onboarding organizations more in like a done for you way, where it's like we just set up everything in like the data management side and make sure that it's visualized correctly, and they just use like the front end, just use the map. So we pretty much do like the QGIS work and display it on the map for them. But once we have people who can do the QGIS work, like they can do it themselves. So
Right.
yeah, that's really good. That's really good. And we're also probably building a plugin, to be fair. I just thought about that.
You
Like
know,
a plugin where you can like immediately launch the data from QGIS into the web.
that's
So that's
cool.
good as well.
Maybe the next time you
I didn't
onboard
even think about that. That's really good. Yeah.
maybe the next time you onboard a client, you make a, obviously you want to make sure none of your clients' information gets out there, but maybe you make a few Loom videos about you setting it up. Like use the next onboarding as an opportunity to create the course, because you're already going to be doing it. So just like kind of film yourself doing a Loom video about the setup or talking about it. Could be
Yep,
good.
that's good. Yeah, that's very efficient as well. Like, I mean, I can take some time to actually do it properly with like our own data too, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. That's really good.
Yeah.
I didn't think about structuring it as a course, to be fair.
And now you can charge people one time for the courses. So you put $100 QGIS training, or you do a free one, and then you do an in-depth one for $100, something like that.
Yep. Yeah, that's another idea. Just writing that down as well.
But you're starting to see all the different potential avenues you can go down, and it's like, you're just learning this stuff too. You're not the expert yet. I mean, you definitely know a lot about it. Like I can tell, and I know a lot about cybersecurity, but like I'm not the expert where like I would charge somebody for courses or content around it.
Yeah, yeah, the same thing with the CISSP and the GISP pretty much comes down where you have like you need to have like 5 years or 6 years of experience or something. I
Mhm.
saw that's the same thing for you. Yeah, I don't I don't have 6 years of experience. And
Right.
up until 6 years of full-time experience, like I've never even worked full-time because I was studying and still am.
Yeah.
So yeah, at some point it's just not gonna work for the upcoming 6 years. I won't get that certificate. So
No,
in that case, yeah,
I'm never
I'm
gonna
just
get
out
the,
here.
I'm never gonna get that stupid certificate, but you can still build a business on top of it because so many other people want it. So many businesses want their employees to have it. Um, yeah, there's ways to do it.
That's great. Yeah, I'm going to be implementing all of these little bits and bobs that you gave me. That's been very valuable again. Appreciate it.
For sure, man. Well, I hope this was valuable. Do you mind if I put this call inside our community just so people can check it
Oh no,
out?
that's completely fine for sure. Yeah,
Okay,
obviously.
for sure, man. All right, well, reach out if there's any way I can help you. I'm happy to do it. You're a cool dude, and I hope I'm being helpful.
Definitely, man. I appreciate it a lot.
For sure, dude. Have a great night.
Yeah, take care. I'll see you.
Peace.